Well, good afternoon, everyone. Friday afternoon. I'm looking forward to the weekend. I hope everybody is as well. Episode 148 of Playing with Perspective, the Suspended Animation Podcast. I'm Darren Saul, your host, and I have the legendary Robert J. Grimes here in the studio. How you doing, Robert?
Really well, thanks, Darren.
Thanks for joining us all the way from the Gold Coast.
Yes, yeah.
Now, for everybody out there, topic for today, what pain or fear gets in your way? So Robert is an evolutionary leader in love, business, and life. He loves to work with energy dynamics that play out in relationships, whether that be a love or business relationships or groups of individuals. He has a natural ability to help people in a relationship to unravel and heal the emotional hurt that comes to us, and Robert helps couples and individuals repair the circuitry in the body so the energy flows again and connect to who they really are, their soulful self. When the energy flows, the ego mind or protective personality does not control or sabotage the natural flow in the body and mind, and abundance, vibrance, and love is restored. That sounds great. Awesome. So welcome to the show, Robert. Nice to have you.
Thank you. Thank you, Darren. Yeah.
Mate, so I'd love to jump in. I mean, tell us a bit more about how you got involved in this line of work and why is it that you do what you do?
Yeah. Look, Darren, when I think of when I was younger, when I was a toddler, and look, many people laugh at this once I tell this story. I was a toddler and I was like the kitchen bench top was higher than what I was. And back in those days, because I got a few years on me at the moment. Back in those days, we had the toasters that opened up like this, right? And you could see a red glow around it.
Right.
And we also used bone handle knives back then. So in my curiosity with the red glow, I decided one morning to try and have a connection with that red glow.
Oh.
So what I did, you know what I did.
Oh, no.
So I come up and it's like, the bench top is higher than me and I could see the red glow. So I shoved the knife in the toaster.
No.
Boom. I went flying back onto the floor. And yes, I was in trauma. I was bawling my eyes out as a little toddler.
Oh, no.
On the floor, my mother froze. Now, what happened was my father come flying in. And of course, in those days, and what he did for me wasn't helpful. But instead of picking me up and holding me, he picked me up and belted me for doing it.
Oh, no.
So what happened was I ended up like with a double trauma in my life as a toddler, right? This wanting to have this connection with this glow, this energy, this electricity.
Yep.
And then my father belting me. I went, whoa. So that for many years, it shut my curiosity down for many things, right?
Wow.
And also when I got to high school, I actually started to shut down who I was, because I didn't think that it would be acceptable, like at high school, because I was seeing these older boys and teachers, male teachers, and I've gone, I think I need to be like them, not like I was when I was at primary school. So so I shut these parts of me down, which was the parts that I was good at drawing and painting and good at dancing, sort of okay at singing a little bit. I was also good at sport and reasonably good at academics. But when I got to high school, I shut all those other, those parts that sort of in those days, it was like, they're things that girls do, not boys.
Yeah, the creative side in a way.
Yeah, so I put this armor and mask on. And by the time I was 16 and 17, right, I was suicidal because I wasn't expressing who I truly was.
Wow.
I was trying to be something else, someone else in this body of mine.
Wow.
Now, here's the funny thing. When I did leave high school, I became an electrician.
Oh my God.
And look, I had many times there when I could have chuffed off, ended this life by getting boots. As an electrician, you call it, you get a boot from electricity.
Yeah.
And look, even one of those times went straight through my hand, through my chest, through my heart, and down out my bum.
Oh my God.
And when that happens, you're almost gone if you hold on.
Oh my
But
God.
luckily I let go,
Wow.
because your muscles tense,
Oh,
your
God.
muscles tense, and you're stuck on it. Then that energy is flowing through your body, and it's not good energy when it's going, at that frequency and that pulse in our 240 volts. It's not good for the human body.
Oh my God.
That's what happened there. So I'm still here, and now, but I took all that through that mask and that armor and that shutdown for me as a man. I took that all the way through my first marriage, up until 33, when my marriage ended. Right, that marriage ended, and I just went, oh shit, what, who am I and what am I doing now? I had to deal with all of that. So that's when I transitioned from being an electrician and moved into the area of coaching, but also counseling and social work and men's work, right? So I did that. So I've done a lot of men's work and facilitated a lot of men's groups over all these years now, up in the Tweed and on the Gold Coast. So that's sort of my story, just in a bit of a nutshell there.
That's one hell of a story. Wow. So, so obviously you focus on healing people from an energy point of view when their energy is blocked in a way.
Yes. Yeah. So, like energy, and it is a new word that we're using these days very much about, our human condition and who we are and what is energy, what really is it? Well, Darren, when you think of a mobile phone as an example, right, there is energy coming and going out of that mobile phone, at all those different frequencies that come in and out, but we don't see them. We don't see that energy in the airwaves. Some people can feel it more than others.
Right.
But that's another energy that is, we cannot see it. We cannot see it. So most of the times there's this energy that's coming into, like flowing into us and around us. That is the main thing is that is who we are. We are energy. And bioenergetics has proven this, and the science through all of that in reality, everything is just energy.
It is. There are some people that, have this potential perception to be able to see auras around other human beings.
Yes. Yep.
That's energy too, no?
That's energy. Absolutely. Yep. That is, and different religious traditions talk about, that very much. So yes, and people can see our auras.
All right.
And sometimes I can, not all the time, but I need to be really centered and just be with someone and I can see their aura. I can definitely feel my own. Like I can feel it, the energy that's there and the energy and even this morning I was doing a coaching session and next minute it was there. I could feel myself bigger than my physical body.
Right.
There I was. And it's like, now, some people say, oh, that's a bit woo-woo. Well, like is our mobile phone and how that transmits energy, is that woo-woo?
Yeah.
Like,
that's right.
it's real.
It's all stuff we can't see, so
Yes,
we don't know.
Yes.
Yeah. And when you see people's energy, do you see colors or how do you actually see it?
Yep. Sometimes I see colors. Most times it's through a sense of feeling. Right. So I have a sense of feeling and then it's like, oh, is that is that their energy or is that my energy? Am I having a responsive or a reactive energy to their energy? So, and we do talk very, very much about, emotional states that we have within our body, our feeling states. And that's what I work on. However, the emotions that are running in our body, or maybe they're not running, maybe they're stuck in our body, is energy. That's what it is. It's energy.
And what about the chakras and all that? That's all energy
Yes,
too. And
that's
all
right.
those, there's different ancient
Yes.
philosophies. They all
So-
talk about energy levels and
Yes. Yeah. So we have those energy centers. And there's energy centers within our physical body as such, along, almost running closely to like our central nervous system that runs up through our body. And we've got those energy centers here. Now, but there is other energy centers outside of our body that affect us.
Right.
And here's one that we will all be aware of, that our Earth, our planet that we're on, has a frequency, has this vibration that has an effect on us. And so that's one of the energy centers that has part of us. And then we have our whole cosmos, or whatever you want to call it, and we have this energy that's created the cosmos. Some theories around the Big Bang, that Big Bang must have been an awful big energy.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. Awesome. So,
Yeah.
in terms of what you specialize in, you work with people that have energy blocks. So why does our energy get blocked?
Yeah. There is the whole system around, like, when I think of my traumas that I had, that I explained around the toaster incident, right? Now, there's others as well in my life, but they can create a block in the energy. Psychologically, we call it trauma. There's a block in the energy. Like, so I had a block in the energy around my curiosity, because it got shocked literally and went, and it shut it down, which means it blocked the flow of that energy.
Gotcha.
And it's taken many years to actually get that to flow again. And so when that's flowing again, then I become curious again around things. And of course, what happened for me was fear came in, and the energy of fear came in then, and other things. So it's about how do I let that go? How do I allow that flow to come back through into my body, because when our energy is flowing through our body and around, and there's no circuitry gaps. So I use the word circuitry because it is electricity, right? When there's no circuitry gaps, there is literally, there can pretty much be no fear, right? Because when there's no circuitry gaps, we actually understand then that our protective personality, or our ego that we have developed, is not who we are. It's not us. We are what I call this soulful self that has a body. And we need to look after our body, because that's where the energy flows through and around. So now, how do I help couples? How do I help people in that? Is that it is to get the energy to flow. Now, but when we have these three brains in our body, and this has been proven as well. We've got our head, we've got our heart, and we've got our gut, right? So they do amazing things, and they speak to each other, right? Now, but when this one up here takes over and takes command, it may normally dominate, control, or lead us astray, right? So that's where we need to bring our heart in, and we need to bring our gut in. And the way into those is to come down from our mind, from our head, into our body, and to feel. And that's the challenge for a lot of us. And I must admit, for me, that whole thing about shutting down when I was younger and being a boy becoming a man, that's what I was shutting down, the feelings, because I thought that I wasn't allowed to feel because that's not what boys becoming men did.
Yeah, sure.
Right.
Yeah.
But we are all feeling or emotional beings. And of course, out of that, we're all energy beings. So,
and you're obviously already quite sensitized to energy already. You
that's
understand
it.
energy well.
That's, yes, absolutely. So I could, when I was younger, I was sensitive, and I still am now, but I'm able to regulate myself, or to literally, some energies, I don't want them. So like, just leave them out there, don't let them come through. And it's like when, every one of us can walk into a room, all right, and there might be a whole lot of people, whether they're talking or whether they're not, walk in and like I can walk in and I go, whoa, what's going on here? And maybe no one is talking, right? But everyone will be thinking. And when we are thinking, there is energy. There is energy going out. So, and then it depends on what is our thinking about. Is it, in my sense, is it coming from thinking out of love, or is it coming from thinking out of fear and all the other derivatives of how fear, manifests and comes up into our mind? So the important thing is that I teach couples, but also singles, get back down into the body. Get back down into the body. You're feeling, whatever you're feeling will not harm you or kill you. I do say that, right?
Yep.
However, your action or behavior from that feeling, you might do something stupid in your life that might harm you.
Yeah, sure.
But the feeling itself won't. So, so I get couples, I get single, people on their own, down into their body and feel, right? Feel, where is it in your body? Sometimes you don't even have to put a word to it, right? So, I was working with a couple yesterday, and he found it really hard to feel because it was all up here, massively up here, right? And when something came up for her, she's gone, oh, it's right down in my belly and my gut. And I'll go, and you got it, right? Yeah. And then I took a little bit more time with him, and I went, just close your eyes, and I just want you to just come down. Bring your mind, use your mind of service to your body, right? I said, use it and just come down and scan a little bit in your body. Where's those sensations? We don't have to put an emotional word to it. Where are the sensations going on? And he went down, it took a few minutes, and all of a sudden he went, oh, it's here. And I've gone, you got it, there it is. And that's what he was doing, like this. Wow. Oh, there it is. And so then we stayed with that for a little while. And then I got the couple to do an exercise together around communication, but also getting down into the body a bit. And it was very powerful. So yeah, I don't necessarily do like hands-on healing, because I am just using my body, my mind, my energy to help the other to get in contact with their energy, their mind, their body, their heart, their gut.
Gotcha.
So I'm getting them to do that. And because then they have their tools to be able to help themselves. But of course, most of the time in our healing, we need a third party to help us along the way. Gotcha. And so that's what I do with energy, and get couples to start to sense and feel their energy, but then the energy of the other, so I can get them to open their heart up and just allow that, use your mind, but allow that to come out. And then we get to a point where I go, well, I want you just now, can you sense and feel the energy from your partner coming your way? And if we use that and use our mind of service to the body to do that, that will happen. that will happen. So
Wow.
yeah,
And obviously you can do this through Zoom or
yes,
whatever.
that's right.
It's just
Yep,
teaching people how to feel, perceive their own energy.
yes,
Yep.
yeah,
And then when people have found a way to unblock um, or stop the mind overpowering everything else, then that's when they can be true to themselves and they can start to reconnect with themselves. Is that how it works?
yes, absolutely, yeah. And the important things around energy is we need to make sure that we've got some sort of balance in 4 or 5 areas in our lives. So
Okay.
these, Darren and viewers, you'll resonate with what I'm saying here. So our diet, our diet and our nutrition,
Yep.
right? Our exercise and our movement,
Yep.
our mindset and our thinking,
Yep.
and then our sleep and our relaxation.
Nice.
So we need all of those. We need all those for our physical body to be working, but we need all of those for our mental and our emotional energy
To be
of our
energy for
body.
energy balance.
For energy balance, yeah.
I love it.
And the biggest one is, the 5th one is breath.
Ooh.
So breathing. So this is the essence, like, in a sense, without being too woo-woo, is that we are breath. Because when you think of it, after 4 or 5 minutes, when we no longer breathing, there is some people can, not breathe for longer than that, but most humans, 4 or 5 minutes, then our mind, our brain will die, and then the rest of our body will start to deteriorate.
Yep.
And then that essence of who we are, that soulful self, will no longer be with this body. So our breath is pretty phenomenal. And there's many different breathwork techniques that are around these days. So
yeah, absolutely.
that makes sense. So that's a massive one. And like, even when I think of myself, I did suffer with a lot of asthma when I was younger. Now, yes, there's different types of exercises that can help that. Swimming is amazing, and I do swim regularly. But breath work, when I truly use my mind and to bring that breath down into the body, using my mind and following through and checking where are those circuitries not working, and then breathe into that area.
Yep.
And then when I breathe into that area, and then especially, my lungs, I need to know that. And when I start doing that and doing that regularly, then that breath work is creating that energy to flow. And then that energy will flow through my lungs and heal my lungs, because when that energy is flowing through our body, it's healing at the same time. Because
love it.
it's
And that's
amazing.
where meditation comes in as well. That's what
Absolutely,
meditation teaches.
Darren. Yeah, that's where meditation comes in as well.
Yep.
So,
so obviously you meditate every day?
I do. Now, however, some days this thing gets in the way and I get too busy, and I'm going and I missed out. But it's essential for me. Like, when I think of that sensitivity of me, I need to stop, be still, and give this a rest. And just come down. And if it is some nice, gentle breath work through all those energy centers, and then back up through the earth and back up and out. When I can do that, hey,
that sounds good.
That's where the vibrance comes. That's where the aliveness and the vibrance comes, Darren.
I love it.
When I can do that. Now, for some of us, that can be a quite a discipline to do in our busy lifestyle.
Definitely, absolutely, Robert.
Yeah.
And I'd love to know, can you give us a couple of examples of maybe how you've worked with people and how you've uncovered and unblocked their energy, or helped them to unblock their own energy, just, without mentioning any names, of course?
Yes.
I'd love to put this into practice in a way.
Yes, it is. Yeah. So there was that little example from yesterday, but if I go back a bit, with a couple, if I get them to understand and start to sense into the body, so they're informed that, hey, if I do feel this, I'm still going to be okay, right? That's the important thing. And so I've done that. And when I think of a couple of couples that I've worked with, when they are both doing that together, and then I allow them to feel where that is. And a lot of times with couples, but with me as well, a lot of my feeling can happen down in my gut, right? So whether that's, and because of my situation and whatever, you know, fear is a big one, you know, so which is really anxiety and nervousness. That's all fear-based. Yeah. And a lot of that comes from down in my gut. So when we can get to there, and then I'll allow them to stay there, and then I might just ask them, what does it feel like, or what are you sensing there? Oh, it's like a knot, you know, a knot in the stomach, which is a big one. Yeah. And then I'll say, what does it sort of look like? And then some might say, oh, it's like this jagged blackness that's in there, or they might, some of them, you know, will actually say, oh, it's just this horrible black liquid, right? That's the what it looks like to them. Yep. So I'm going, oh, good. So you're actually sensing it, feeling it, and visualizing what it is. That's the great start of it, because then you're allowing your mind to know that this is what's going on down there in the body. Yep. And then if we can do some breathing, and we breathe down through those centers and breathe down, say in that situation, we're breathing down to what is our belly, or our mula bandha is what's called in Sanskrit, so to speak, our mula bandha. And then if we can breathe into there and then breathe it out, the healing comes from breathing in and then breathing out that energy, which is that blackness, which is that, you know, that fear, which is that, whatever it is. And we breathe it out. And, you know, and I experienced that in a session with me just this morning. Wow. There was stuff going on for me, and I had someone else, a coach, doing some visualization or some meditation for me, guided. And next minute, there was that. And so breath, I just love breath work. I want to let you know too that I've done like holotropic breath work. Right. I don't do holotropic breath work with couples or singles on their own, but within a group setting with other support. Yeah. And that's pretty amazing. And I went on a, up on the Gold Coast here at Springbrook, I went up to and did some, pretty much some holotropic breath work in the rainforest.
What does it mean, holotropic breath work?
Holotropic, yeah. Rebirthing is another sort of name that's used for that as well.
Rebirthing, right. So it's like just a very intense energy therapy, is it?
Yes.
Breathing therapy.
Yep. You know, when you do that sort of holotropic type breath work, you don't need mushrooms, you don't need ayahuasca, because the breath is what's doing. The breath is the healer. The breath is the medicine. Yep. That's what it is. And it's pretty phenomenal, Darren, to be able to experience that. So that was about 3 weeks ago. I was up in the rainforest at Springbrook, and we had about 30 odd men there. And and a lot of men younger than me, when I experienced that was quite phenomenal. Wow. To be able to have that. I have experienced it before as well. But that is intense breath work. I don't necessarily use that with couples or singles when I'm just coaching with them or counseling with them.
And here's a question, Robert. You know, when people say, you know, trust your gut and all that kind of stuff, does that mean that if that energy center is working well, that is a great source of knowledge and intuition? But if it's not, you can't really trust your gut.
Yes, that's right. Yep. So true. That whole thing around I have a gut sense about this.
Yeah.
That is our intuition. And a lot of it does come from there, because even our physical gut has all these little microbes in there, right? All the research that's done there, the physicality of that. So that's why it's important to feed that gut, some good nutrition, because then it creates the good bacteria, and they will let you know. That's what it's about. It's like the physicality coming into the intuition, around that. So it'll let us know, and then of course our gut through that intuition will talk to our mind up here at our brain. Now we've got to watch that this doesn't override what that gut feeling
exactly, which is what human beings can tend to do.
Yes, that's right.
And then we regret it if we sometimes say, I should have trusted my gut.
Yes, that's it. That's the one.
Yep. So true. Right. Fantastic. I love it. And so you can work with people that have issues in any facet of life, whether it's business, home, partners, romance, whatever.
Absolutely. Yeah.
To help them.
There's that whole thing around even to the point of now it's like a disclaimer here, because I am not like a hands-on healer, right? I'm getting them to use their own healing power of getting their energy to flow.
Yes.
So, but what I'm saying is that if we can get our energy to flow, we can heal physical ailments.
Wow.
Right? When we learn how to do that. Now, of course, some people will go to hands-on healers and do some healing that way.
Yep.
And but that's not what I do. I help that person, and if they can get, that first of all, what's their diet, nutrition, exercise and movement, mindset and thinking, sleep and relaxation, and then some breath work, and get them informed that we need this to be of service to our body, our heart, and our gut. Once they have that, then that's when the circuitry start to flow, and that's where the healing will happen. And then that's out of that healing become the vibrance, the energetic vibrance of who we are in this body. And it's pretty phenomenal.
Wow. It just goes to show you how much we still don't really know about ourselves. Like, all this stuff is so interesting, and it's being proven with science more and more. And over the ages, people have shown that it does work and it's important, but we're just learning about all this stuff and what it really means. So it's fascinating how much we still don't know.
Yes. Yeah. Now my training comes from Dr. Sue Morter in the USA with the Morter Institute. So and she wrote a book called The Energy Code. So I think I am doing a plug for that. Right there.
Good one.
The Energy Code, Dr. Sue Morter, amazing book.
Okay.
And she started with her father back in the 60s. Right. So her father, Dr. Morter, he was a chiropractor, but then he moved in, and he was one of the founders of the bioenergetic movement that was back in the 60s.
Wow.
So she comes from she's got she started that off early in her life, and she's following that through now and helping people to coach others around getting that circuitry going through our body.
Fantastic. Love it. Awesome. Well, I mean, that's fascinating stuff. If people want to get in touch with you to learn more about what they can do to help themselves in that energy, from an energy point of view, how can they find you?
Yes. So, like at the moment, the website is called Love Life Matters.
Right.
So that, that's been started off for, doing relationship work. However, that will definitely make contact with me. If you just Google Love Life Matters, it will come up, and you can certainly make contact with me around that. Yeah.
All right, awesome. Do you do social media?
Yes. Yeah. So on Facebook. Yep. So Robert J. Grimes on Facebook, And then there's also the Love Life Matters Facebook page
Facebook
there
page
as well.
All right.
Yeah. And LinkedIn.
And LinkedIn as well.
Yeah.
And from your website, Love Life Matters, you can link to a lot of those things?
Yep.
Yep. Okay, good.
Yep.
Fantastic.
Absolutely.
Excellent. And
Yeah,
you obviously work globally. You can do there's so much you can do nowadays with Zoom.
That exactly right. Yeah. And it's that is all opened up to me now. And that's been, since COVID, to be able to do more online sessions. And so we also have a monthly event that happens too.
Great.
That you'll see that on the website. Relationships Raw and Real.
Love it.
And it's like you can be anonymous as well through the chat room.
Okay.
You can put your question out there. So it's some education, and then I do some Q&A towards the end, and we're doing that every month just to help people out in their relationships.
Love it. I love it, Robert. Well done. Well, mate, thanks so much for coming on the show. It's nice to tackle these kind of topics every now and again. They're a little different, and we can kind of find a balance even in what we're learning through podcasts like this and other things. So I really appreciate you coming on the show. All the audience out there, please get in touch with Robert if you think that you can benefit from some energy work. I'm sure he'll be able to help you. Is there anything that you'd like to leave us with before we finish up, Robert?
The thing is, and it does come back to the breath work, just for your audience, just to allow yourself and watch your mind, but allow yourself to breathe and be conscious and aware of your breathing, because it's phenomenal on what it does for your whole body and your whole psyche. So breath work.
Absolutely. I love it. I love it. I knew you were going to say that. Well done. But anyway, that's great source of inspiration for the weekend. And we can all have a bit of time to try and be more conscious of our breath. And who knows where that will lead.
Yeah, that's right. Wonderful.
Fantastic. Well, Robert, thanks for coming on the show. Really appreciate it, mate. I've really enjoyed it. And I hope you have a great weekend.
Yeah.
And all the audience out there, thanks for joining us. And we'll see you very, very soon, next week, in fact, for another episode of Playing with Perspective from Suspended Animation. Thanks again, Robert.
Thank you, everyone. Enjoy your weekend.
Thank you.